Varya. Yeah, thank you very much, Varya. A very good morning to all of you, to all the mentors, to the students from the various Atal Tinkering Labs across the country. Very happy to speak to you a few words on some of my personal experience, mentoring hackathons and innovation challenges. So at the outset, I want to tell you that this is just kind of a sharing of best practices, so as to speak, and there's nothing rocket science about all these things. It's very simple, commonsensical things that we have been doing, in order to mentor students to attain good outcomes in hackathons and so on and so forth. So let me just share my slides. I hope my slide is visible. Can somebody confirm if
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. The topic for the session is how to win a hackathon and a innovation challenge. So in terms of the uh, hackathon and innovation challenges are similar. The strategies are also similar. The only difference is that the innovation challenges may be spread over a few months. Like the ATL Marathon, which is one of the best events of innovation for school students in the country by the Atal Innovation Mission. It spreads for 2 to 3 months, but the hackathon is probably spreading over 2 or 3 days. So that's the only difference. But in terms of strategies, more or less they are the same. And what I'm going to talk, of course, is specific to the hackathon thing. But as I mentioned, these strategies are, very common for any innovation challenge, so as to speak. I work as I do pro bono service as a regional mentor of change for the Atal Innovation Mission. As a mentor, I've been mentoring for almost 4 years now. I am employed in India's #1 private university, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, in Coimbatore, which is actually the headquarters of the university, and I head the quality function in the university and also some of the innovation initiatives there. So this how to win a hackathon is actually a topic very close to my heart. And in fact, the ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, which is the professional body for computer science, has recommended this talk pan-India for their student chapters. Let me first talk to you a bit about my experience with hackathons, with hackathons, and primarily I started mentoring students from the university last 5 years back in terms of mentoring for hackathons, and the last 3 years I've also been mentoring school students to a large extent, especially in the ATL Marathon and the ATL Tinkerpreneur. Now, it's been a very fulfilling and a rewarding journey, in the sense that, 5-6 years back, when we started mentoring, students, I was very fortunate to get very smart, proactive students from my university, that is Amrita University, who were, very receptive to my ideas, receptive to my mentoring. And it's been a wonderful ride. It would have been much better had the pandemic not struck. But in the last 4 or 5 years, we've secured, almost 50 top hackathon victories, many international hackathons in Australia, Singapore, Indonesia, Europe. We have been able to win some physical, some virtual. The government of India's flagship initiative, which is now open also for the school children, that the Smart India Hackathon, on more than 2 occasions, I've been able to mentor teams that won the event. But the best part, the crowning glory, if you ask me, was the Singapore India Hackathon in 2018, when we were selected as one of the best hackathon teams in India and chosen to represent the country in the Singapore India Hackathon in 2018. And we had the great privilege to be getting a photo op and a felicitation by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, who was there in the ASEAN summit. There was an India-ASEAN summit on the sidelines of the Singapore India Hackathon. A highly inspiring experience for us to be, able to interact with them, even though for a few minutes. So this has been the university journey. In terms of the tinkering labs, I got signed in as a mentor almost 4 years back. And I started with one school, the Yogabharati school in Coimbatore. Then subsequently, I added 2 more schools, Amrita Vidyalayam, Trichy and Nagapattinam. So there are now 3 schools whom I've been, mentoring. And I want to kind of quickly summarize in the guidance in terms of the marathon. In the last 3 editions, 5 teams have been in the top 300 or 350, and more than 15 plus top performers in the Tinkerpreneur. And many of these projects, twice they have been showcased in the ATL Wall of Fame. So I must add that Atal Innovation Mission provides a lot of incentives to mentors and students when they participate in the innovation challenges of the Atal Innovation Mission, like the Tinkerpreneur and the marathon. And they are extremely, the competition is tough, but it's very exciting to be able to, be part of this and guiding the students. Because this is an opportunity for us to, mentor the students so that they unleash their creativity, unleash their innovation, and unleash their teamwork. I just wanted to add a few projects. As I mentioned, the 5 top teams. One of the images that you see here is the team that came in the top 300 last year. So they did a very exciting project, the Third Eye, which is a futuristic stick. Normally we had a stick that is used by the blind people. But these students came with a novel idea that this stick can be used not only by the visually impaired, but also by the mute and hearing impaired, people who can't speak or who cannot hear. So it's a multifunctional, a multi-dimensional stick that can be used by either the dumb, the deaf, and the blind. That kind of exciting project that they did last year, and they were in the top in the ATL marathon. Another project that, from the first school that I was mentoring, Yogabharati, compound ice. So this innovation by the Yogabharati students, now they have all moved on to college. They have graduated from high school and they are now into college. So this was an interesting thing. Not only was it featured in the ATL Wall of Fame, they participated in the marathon. They also won several competitions, both regional and regional competitions. So it's a very interesting idea that, one of these students is from Ooty. As you know, Ooty is a hill station in South India, which is one of the best hill stations in the country. But even though Ooty is a good hill station, the surrounding areas like Kunur, Valparai and places, there is a lot of wild animal attack that is even happening today. Not in the proper Ooty per se, the city, but the surrounding areas, the hinterland, there are wild cats, the wild animals are still attacking. So these students build a compound ice, which uses a microcontroller based mini car with an app that will give alerts to the forest officials that, there is a leopard, there is a wild cat somewhere in the locality. The very interesting project. What you see is an image of this. It won so many awards, and I was very fortunate to be, guiding them for this, not only for the marathon, but also for other innovation challenges. Of course, now all of them are in college doing extremely well. So now I'll come into the basic topic of today, how to win a hackathon, how to win an innovation challenge. As I mentioned, hackathon is 2 to 3 days. Innovation challenge may be 2 to 3 months, but both of them have similar strategies, except for the time constraint. And what I'm talking to you is probably, it will be applicable for both, with slight modifications in terms of the time period. Now, first we need to understand what a hackathon is. Many people don't know what a hackathon is. People think that a hackathon is something to do with hacking. It is far from the truth. Hacking is an unethical criminal act where you are looking at trying to expose the vulnerabilities in a computer, in a system, in an application, and probably doing some harm in terms of stealing money or stealing some kind of confidential or privacy related information and so on and so forth. But that is, hacking is totally different. Hacking has nothing to do with hackathon. Hacking is a criminal act, an unethical act, exposing the vulnerabilities of a computer or a system or a software or a hardware or a network or an application like a banking or a security application. Hackathon is actually building a digital product. That is the meaning of a hackathon. You are building a digital product and this digital product is being built over a very finite time period. As I mentioned, maximum hackathons are up to 72 hours. So you are building a digital product in, say, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. And you are going through the entire product life cycle of building this digital product from an ideation, conceptualization, making a proof of concept, making a prototype, building on the prototype, making it a working prototype, testing it, developing it, and pitching. But the challenge is you are doing this in a very limited amount of time, say 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. In a innovation challenge also, you are going through this, right? You are going through this ideation, conceptualization, prototyping, testing, pitching, developing, but you are probably doing that in 2 to 3 months. But in terms of either way, the time period is limited. Hackathon is 2 to 3 days. Innovation challenges say 2 to 3 months. But either way, you are doing it in a very less amount of time. And that is the essence of an hackathon. You are building something. It is fun. It is innovative. You are getting your hands dirty by, applying whatever you have learned, different concepts, different ideas, applying in an actual use case, applying your skills, your knowledge, your creativity in everything. I'll give you an example. You have heard about a smart city. You are trying to build a smart city. Now, how can a smart city be executed? Only when you have a traffic in the smart city done in a very efficient manner. Now, you may think, it's no big deal making the traffic pattern, but it is very, very difficult to regulate the traffic in a town, in a big city, in a metropolis. You need all kind of technologies. You need mapped kind of cartographic information in terms of the map and the geographical patterns. You need algorithms to predict the traffic. You need real-time monitoring. You need sensors. You need IoT devices. You need smart traffic lights. You need all these kind of software controls. So just executing a smart city is a very tall order because there are so many things even required for building a smart traffic system. So these are, and it's a chance for you to implement all your ideas, all your techniques, all the skills and knowledge that you learned, you apply. It may be programming, it may be interfacing with a sensor, with an IoT device, using a Raspberry Pi, using an Arduino board. It doesn't matter. You are actually implementing, executing all your knowledge, all your skills into something, and that is the beauty of a hackathon. Number one, it is you are going through the entire product life cycle from ideation to conceptualization, prototyping, testing, building, and pitching in a very small amount of time. Number one. Number two, applying all your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, your competencies, your talent, your knowledge of hardware, software, networking, interfacing into that product, the digital product that you are developing. So these are the kind of a very important takeaways from a hackathon. And let me tell you, where is the hacking there? There is no hacking here at all. It is a digital product development. That is hacking is a totally different, unethical thing that you should not get into in any way or the other, which will get into the problem. Now, most hackathons, right, as I mentioned, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. Most innovation challenges, maybe 1 month or 2 months or 2.5 months or 3 months, they normally give you a theme. There is a theme given ahead of schedule. They tell you that this is the theme of the hackathon. This is the theme of the innovation challenge. See, the ATL marathon that is now in progress. The theme is aligned to the G20 priorities. The year before, it was to the pillars of Make in India or Digital India and so on. So every hackathon innovation challenge gives you a theme. The theme gives you an idea on what you should develop. Normally, most hackathons and innovation challenges only provide you with the theme of the hackathon. They do not tell you that you have to choose this problem statement or this specification. Majority of the hackathons just give the broad theme. From the theme, you have to choose a problem statement that kind of has some kind of societal interest or either a business interest. When I mean societal interest, it has to be relevant to the theme. It has to be helpful to the society. That is one thing. Second thing is, it has to have a business interest. Business interest in the sense that what you are developing will make somebody a lot of money. It will be a product that will be able to sell. So either hackathons, the outcome, the end result of the hackathon should be either a product with a business interest where some company who's running the hackathon makes a lot of money, or it should have a societal interest where there is a benefit to the community, to the common man, and that also is anyway another outcome of the hackathon. So this is generally expected out of hackathon. So we are now running a hackathon, for the Civil 20. I am part of a working group of the Civil 20. Civil 20 is an official engagement group of the G20. We are now actually developing products. We are having a hackathon so that students, startups are building products which can be used by the civil society. The civil society, the NGOs, that is the focus area because you're part of the Civil 20. So there is a very clear theme. How can you help the civil society? That theme is the focus. So same way, all hackathons, innovation challenges have a theme. Like the marathon is talking about the G20 presidency as the theme and different working groups focusing on that. But you have to choose a problem statement aligned to the theme, number one. Number two, your problem statement, your solution should have some business interest in the sense that it is helpful in making money for the person who's running the hackathon, or it should be having a community focus or a societal focus. These are things that are needed for any hackathon. Now let's dive into what should be done. See, as I mentioned, this is not rocket science. I'm not at all going into my research work in computer science or industry 4.0 at all. I'm just going to talk to you simple, commonsensical things which anybody and everybody can do and win a hackathon. Number one, form a good team. Hackathons are all about teamwork. There is no But all the time hackathons are not a single man or woman's game. It is a teamwork, and the very definition of a team is a group of people with complementary skills and multiple talents. That is a definition of a team, and that is exactly what a team should be. You should have complementary skill set. It is not friendship. It is not rapport. It is not I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It is about being able to win and address the problem best. So when you first thing is to choose the right team. The team should be the people who should be able to have complementary skills, complementary skill set, and they should be able to work with each other. If you are working on a smart city hackathon, right? If you are working on a smart city hackathon, what should you be doing? You have chosen smart education. Then you need somebody with the domain knowledge of education. You need somebody who's good in making apps. You need somebody who can make delivery systems for the education. Like that, you have to think. You are looking for a smart traffic control system for the hackathon. Obviously, when you're talking of a smart traffic control system, you need somebody with expertise in IoT, expertise in sensors, expertise in interfacing, Arduino board, and so on. Somebody who can write an app. So that is how you should be forming a team. Looking into what the hackathon demands and seeing people with complementary skill sets who can work together for the hackathon. As I mentioned, smart traffic means have somebody in IoT, have somebody in sensors, have somebody in app development, have somebody in cloud Firebase, so that all the components are there. That is how you should form the team. And in fact, one of my colleagues who has made this, my collaborator, you always says, team, the expansion of team itself is together everybody achieves more. TEAM is together everybody achieves more. Everybody works together. It always helps that your team can have a good catchy name. That helps whenever you go for hackathons anywhere in the world. The good team names are always kind of the judges, the jury people like very catchy team names. That is also a very good way of attracting. And as I mentioned, a hackathon team has to drive or have to strike a balance between an individual performance and the team performance. Yes, there may be individual brilliance, but at the end, it's a teamwork, right? It's a teamwork, and that should be the essence of the team in the hackathon. There is no individual performance, individual brilliance. All these are secondary with respect to the team as a whole. So that is the first step. If you ask me, forming the right team, well begun is half done. You have the right team to address the hackathon, half your battle is won. Now, every team goes through, when you are forming a new team, every team goes through some level of churning. In management, they talk about 4 stages in any team: forming a team, storming, norming, performing. I will repeat: forming, storming, norming, performing. Every team goes through the stages. You form a team, then there is a storm. You are trying to adjust with each other. You are trying to gel with each other. There is bound to be conflict. But after a period of time, you get used to each other. Yes, you start gelling with each other. You start vibing with each other. Then you norm together, norming. You get comfortable. Every team goes through these stages, and finally you start performing. So another very important thing I have been doing as a mentor is, whenever a team comes to me, I tell them on the face as a mentor. So now we are going for this hackathon. This team is intact. If you guys perform, even if you win the competition, tomorrow I find another hackathon, I may remove some of you and add new people. There is nothing permanent. The only constant in life is change. I'm very clear with all my teams. It's not about friendship. It is not about this thing. Yes, successful combinations are there, but as per the need, I as a mentor, I am very clear. I go on shuffling, I go on adjusting, I go on mixing and matching my teams. That is something I have very clearly told them when they come up to me. So as I mentioned, this is not about friendship. Tomorrow I feel I'm going for a new hackathon. I find that this team member may not be suited. I will simply, no emotions, no hard feelings. I'll swap and put another person, because we want performance. We want to win the hackathon. That is the objective. So there is no holy cow in this forming a good team. If necessary, the teams can be changed, disbanded. But as I mentioned, sometimes there is a track record, sometimes a winning combination. Sometimes you don't want to change it also if the team is of the hackathon. So that is my strategy as a mentor. Mostly I go with the same team, but as required, I may change as and when required, depending upon the situation, depending upon the hackathon that we are going to go next. Second thing, identify the correct contest, the right innovation challenge. There are so many things happening day and night. You just go to some websites, hackerearth.com, hackerrank.com, hacker.com, daretocompete.com. You will find hundreds and hundreds of events are happening. Let me tell you, you cannot participate in all of them. Ultimately, you are a student. You are a faculty or a school teacher or a faculty, a college teacher mentoring teams. You don't have the bandwidth to go for anything and everything. It is not possible. So it is very important that you make the best strategy would be to go on looking for these sites, hackerearth.com, hackerrank.com, dare to compete. Look for the competitions, find the competitions that match your skill set. And also find the competitions that have some schedule, some day, which does not upset your regular schedule. So there are some hackathon teams, they don't attend classes at all. All the time they're traveling. See, that also is not going to work out. I mean, there's nothing wrong in it. If you are very smart, you can catch up with classes and assignments and stuff. It's fine, but it's very difficult. You have to balance. So always identify the right contest, the correct contest, the contest which matches you, and not only matches your skill set, it should also match your schedule. That is also very important. And I mean, you can plan, 6 months is there, now this is May. Starting from July to December, you can say, okay, I will plan to go for a contest in July, plan to go for one in September, plan to go for during the holiday in December. Like that, you should have a finite planning. And that's what I essentially ask my teams to do. I do not allow them to go bunk the entire semester on duty. I never allow that. I'm very clear. When they come to me, I look at the event, I look at I look at the college schedule, and I am very flexible in the sense that there have been cases when some of my university students had exams and all. I have kind of pleaded and did some shifting of exams to suit. Those things and all I have done. But then doesn't mean that the entire academic year or the thing that the students go on hackathon. Be very selective about it. Choose a few contests that or hackathons or innovation challenges that suit you and accordingly plan. So this is the second step that I say. Identify the right contest. First is form a good team, as I mentioned, not friendship, about how to win the hackathon, the best skill set, complementary skills, multiple talents, and so on. Then identify the contest. So many contests are happening. Choose the best one which is suiting you. Now, all hackathons, because hackathons have become extremely popular in the last few years, they do not want, no hackathon wants everybody to come to the site. In fact, even the marathon, right? Marathon is completely virtually done. There is no physical thing happening at all. Everything is judging is virtual. Only the final, the prize winners, the top 10 teams, there is a felicitation ceremony for marathon or Tinkerpreneur also. Similarly, most hackathons don't want everybody to come down because maybe the pandemic has also kind of accelerated this digital evaluation systems, and so on. So most hackathons ask you to give a problem statement which aligns to the theme. You have to give a problem statement. That problem statement should be aligned to the theme. And this problem statement, you should actually give a write-up, maybe a few slides, 3 or 4 slides on what this problem statement is, what are the references, the background material, the motivation why you have chosen this problem statement, what is the need, and what is the basic solution that you are proposing, and what its architecture. Let me tell you, it's very short, sweet, concise, precise submission in terms of an abstract or idea. It's not a story. It's a very small, concise, precise, short and sweet submission. So the theme is smart. Let us give an example. Safe driving, safe or smart travel or safe driving. I'm giving you a problem statement to provide a solution towards minimizing the frequent navigation checks using mobile during bike and car ride. This is a crisp, precise, concise problem statement. Okay, and the theme is safety. That is the overall overarching theme of the hackathon. And you have given a small problem statement to provide a solution towards minimizing the frequent navigation checks using mobile during bike or car ride. Why did you choose this statement? Because you should support it with information, with background information, with references. References can be from newspapers. This many accidents are happening because of frequent navigation checks. The Times of India, Bangalore, dated 5th April 2023. International Journal for Intelligent Transportation Systems, IEEE. This many people have accidents are happening. So you should be very clear. Justify why you have given this problem statement, why it is given, support it with newspapers, with kind of newspaper articles, with references, and cite those references. And so that brings you the justification. Now you tell what you are going to do, how you are going to solve this problem. Now I will tell you, a picture speaks a million words. All of us know that. Rather than writing text, have a simple infographic. Have an infographic. This is the motivation of my project. This is the block diagram of my project. This is what will happen. This is the outcome. Simple document. No writing text. Keep everything in an infographic. Right? So that should be the submission of your abstract and idea submission. Clear problem statement. Justify the problem statement with why is this needed? Because of these. This is the motivation. Many accidents are happening because of navigation checks. These are the sources. Times of India, International Journal, World Economic Forum report. Like that, you put those things. Then what is the solution? Very simple. This is my solution. This is the block diagram. This is what it is going to do. This is a perspective image of my solution. These are the hardware. These are the software. This is what a person who's evaluating the hackathon will like. Because I know, as a judge, you get 100, 200, 300 submissions. Any human being will be attracted by a solution, a problem statement, and an idea which is very attractive in terms of visual, which clearly explains what is going to be done in very little text, more graphics, and few number of slides. And any human being will get turned off when you see, big stories. Nobody has time. You should understand that, especially the judges of these hackathons, they don't. So present your material very nicely, present your abstract, your idea in a very crisp, precise, concise manner with more graphics, more infographics, more statistics, right? Justify it with block diagrams and so on. So this is the first step. All hackathons will ask you to submit this ahead of schedule. Now, you have submitted ideas. Normally, all hackathons, many hackathons have gone 100% online. But most, especially university and college hackathons, what they do is they may get thousands of submissions of abstract ideas. From these thousand submissions, they will choose a few. And they will usually fund you to come to the site. Now, if you take the Smart India Hackathon, that is the Ministry of Education is doing. There are 500 problem statements. 500 problem statements are there given by around 100 ministries and government bodies and companies. Each problem statement, they will shortlist 5 teams. Some problem statements, they would have got 100 submissions. From the 100, they choose 5. Some will have 30 submissions. From there, they may choose 3. And they will call you to the site. Usually, they may pay part of the fare for the travel, the local accommodation, all those things will be taken care. Even company hackathons are like that. Company hackathons, you may get thousands of submissions. They may choose the top 100, top 50, or top 20, or top 30 to come on the site. And they will pay for the accommodation, the travel, the local hospitality, and so on. So once you submit this abstract, if you are very lucky, if you have a very nice problem statement, very catchy team name, very catchy and precise justification of your problem statement, the judges are impressed. They will call you to the site. They will say, okay, you have been chosen from 1,000 plus submissions. The top 50 have been called to the site. And you should report on this day. And the hackathon will be there for 2 or 3 days. Now, people think that, when you go there, you have time. Actually, it's not like that. If you have been chosen for your hackathon that may be happening after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month from now, you should start planning now. Because when you are going to the hackathon, you may need to get components, you may need hardwares, you may need softwares, you may need equipment, you may need these kind of things, right? So you need to take all these components, you need to plan these components, you need to keep these things ready, and so on and so forth. And this hack is, you are going to the site. Now, the hackathon may be 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, but you should understand that, you are not going to get the entire time. In a hackathon, there will be some social events, there will be those kind of social events will be there, there will be inauguration. So a lot of time is, used up during that 48 hours and so on. So, don't expect that you'll go there and do everything. It should not be possible. You should know, if the hackathon is say 36 hours, I may be able to work for 16 hours. The remaining 16 hours, I may have socials, I may have mixing, and so on, so on. You should plan all those things ahead of schedule. Take all the components with you, keep everything ready, go to the site, go to the hackathon, participate in all the socials, the mixing events, and so on. And when you are participating, you need to understand that normally judging for the hackathons, right? Normally during all hackathons, there is a time. So if your hackathon is 36 hours, every 6 hours or 8 hours, they may come for formal judging. But we need to also understand that most of the time, the judges are informally also moving around the venue. So if your hackathon is 36 hours or 48 hours, most of the time the judges are available throughout the day or night. They may come every 6 hours for judging, but you are being watched all the time. Most of the time they are informally also moving. So you should understand that judging is happening around the clock. Formally, they may come every 6 hours or 8 hours, but informally they will come. They will ask you questions while they are walking down, during lunch, during tea breaks. All those things are there. So you have to understand that 36 hours and 48 hours or 72 hours, there are mixing, socials, inauguration, all those you cannot miss. You should not miss. Remaining time, you have to be alert. And whenever a judge is coming for both formally and informally, you should be able to answer their questions. You should be able to focus on all those kind of things, and so on and so forth. So some of the things that are very important is you have to be very honest about your product. Don't say things that are not going to, that are not there. You cannot bluff in front of them. They are very smart people, so you cannot bluff in front of them. You cannot simply bluff in front of them. So you should be able to answer those things, be very honest about what you are doing, what all you are doing. Now, as I mentioned, the judges may be coming formally every 8 hours or 6 hours. Informally, they are always there in the venue, and they may ask you questions. But when they come, they will give you some suggestions. Please make a note of those suggestions. Make a note of those suggestions. And the next time the judge comes, you please tell them, okay, you have given a suggestion. Suggestion number 1, you said to add this component. We are doing it. Suggestion number 2, sir, I'm very sorry, we will not be able to do it. Our code will not be able to do it in the one day. This we will do it in the future. Suggestion number 3, add this plugin that is already been done. So it's a continuous process. So when the judges are coming in the first the time, note those suggestions, and the next time you don't have to tell the story again and again. You focus on what the judge has told you, and address the queries that the judge has given you in the first evaluation, and then move on to the second evaluation. So this is how you should be addressing the judges. Now, the selection of the during this hackathon, 36 hours or 26 hours, if there are 50 teams or 100 teams on the site, normally what they do is, for the final power judging, as they say, they may choose only 10 teams. Final round, that is the 10. And how they make this selection is, the judges are formally evaluating you every 8 hours or 6 hours, but informally also they are judging you, as I mentioned earlier. And the selection is based on novelty, how unique your product is, how complete your product is, how useful your product is, how is it possible to take it to the market, how good team, as a team, how do you gel together, and how your product or your idea or your thing is relevant to the theme of the hackathon, and whether it has a business interest or a societal context. I told you earlier itself. Business interest means, if I am a company, say, I remember our students participated in Bounce Hackathon. Bounce is an electric bike maker based in Bangalore. I think you can grab a Bounce bike, electric bike, from anywhere in one place of Bangalore and move to the other place. They wanted some navigation solutions. If I recall, my students had developed something. So whether that navigational solution is going to help them improve their business, that is what they are very much focused. You may have done a very great product. Another team would have done not so great product. But the other team who has not done a not so great product will win the prize, because it is relevant to the company's business goals or the business. So you should understand, ultimately the product has to have either a business interest that helps the company, or it should have a societal context that helps the society. That is very clear. So sometimes, you may feel, oh, I did an awesome job, but the other team did not do a great job, but they won the prize. Maybe because if that product is helping the company's business, you cannot complain about it. So finally, 10 teams are called for the finals. It's called power judging. It's very, very short. Power judging, you do not talk too much about the technical aspects of the project. The power judging, they have already evaluated 100 projects. They have chosen the top 10 for power judging, meaning they are happy with you. Now the question is, how do you take it forward? For a power judging, please do not have too many people talking. One person only needs to give a short, crisp presentation for 7 minutes. This is just a guideline. Okay, it's a pitch. Please remember, it is a pitch. It's a pitch, not a technical presentation. It's a pitch. During the pitch, this is a suggested thing, 7 minutes. 2 minutes, you talk about what your product is, what is the motivation, why you want to go for this. Another 2 minutes, you talk about what the product is, what is the components, what is the technology used. Don't go too much into the details. Just give the overall broad idea about what it is. Next 2 minutes, using a video or a screen capture, show the demo of your product, how it is working. And in the last 1 minute, you talk about the summary, and also you say how you are going to take this forward. I have developed this product for the hackathon. I am going to improve it. I'm going to take it to the next level. And if possible, after I graduate, I'm going to make it into a startup. This is what is expected during the summary and the Q&A round, the question and answer. During the pitch, they expect you to see how this will move to the next level. So this is a suggested kind of approach in terms of the final pitch. Remember, 100 teams have been, 1,000 teams have submitted abstracts. Only 100 of them have come to the site. Out of the 100, only the top of the 10 have been called for this pitching, the power judging or the finals. So already you are a winner. Now it is how to, you try to convince or validate the judge to the judges that I have already done something good. Now I am going to take it to the next level. So continue adding on to the power judging. This is just simple rules of thumb. In fact, I do a rehearsal. Whichever student is pitching, I sit with that student and do a script, the scripting. I go minute by minute doing a stopwatch, exactly timing. That is part of my mentoring. Presenter has to be very clear, concise, language, technical knowledge, sharp presence of mind, good humor, be able to answer questions, good communication skills. And the presenter should not hog the limelight. If a question is asked, the presenter need not ask. The other members in the team who are being silent till now can answer. That should be the thing. So, and I want to stress about the honesty part. If you don't know, say it, I do not know. There's nothing wrong in that. If the judge is asking you, why can't your product do this? I'm sorry, sir. Now it is not happening. In the future, I will do that, what you have suggested. I will enhance the product as per this thing. Many a time I see students jumping the gun. They don't answer, listen to the questions and jump and answer before the question is asked. Finally, the presenter of the power judging should thank the organizers, thank the hosts, wish everybody all the best, and look forward for the results. That's all from my side. As I mentioned, so this is simple, commonsensical things, but these are things that sometimes common sense is the most uncommon thing. Somebody used to say, simple things, but these are simple, straightforward, down-to-earth tips that have helped us win so many hacks. And I'm sure, I hope this has given you some insights, and you are also able to, win a lot of hacks with these guidelines. Thank you very much. Over to you, Arya. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, sir. If there are any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we can take them up. If not, then I think we can conclude the session for today.